All right, it's a hot topic in the news and focuses on the new COVID-19 vaccines. In this segment, our friend Evan Armour talks with an expert. Here's what he had to say.
Our next guest is here to answer some common questions you might have about the new coronavirus vaccine. Dr. Dean Fanelli is partner in the Intellectual Property Department at Seyfarth Shaw's Washington, D.C. office. Good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning. Good to join you.
So we are talking about the new COVID-19 vaccination and what people need to know about it. I think one of the first things that people are really thinking about right now is, when is it going to be my turn? When do I get to do this? So when do you think this will be available to most of the general public?
Yeah, it looks like the general public we're targeting around the April timeframe. Now that was based on, we all heard the news, the expectation of having 20 million doses out to the public by the end of 2020. We're certainly lagging behind that. And I think everyone's optimistic that we'll pick up that. There's certain hiccups on the logistics, but right now we're still in that prioritization group one where they are the healthcare workers and people in nursing homes. But for the general public, I'm still optimistic that around the April timeframe, we'll be able to get the vaccines into the arms of the general public.
So a couple months away now. Well, how exactly are these vaccines working? Are they helping people prevent them from getting COVID, from spreading COVID? What can we expect?
Yeah, that's a great question. And that's an important point because we all want to get back to the point where we don't have to wear the masks. We can get back to doing our normal lifestyles. The way the trial was run is when people get the vaccines prevent the symptoms. So they prevent those high-risk groups and people from getting hospitalization, having to be put on ventilators, needing additional oxygen. Now, it's really an important nuance because, the vaccines, you still could get the virus. We know that the virus, it's in the nasal pharynx region. So you can still get the virus and transmit the virus to others, but not even after you get the vaccine, but not get those symptoms. So that's why it's important, even after you get vaccinated, to continue to wear the mask and do the social distancing, because until we have a situation where we have a large enough group of the population, that's so-called herd immunity, where the majority of the population is not spreading the virus, it's still going to be very important after vaccination in the short term to continue to wear your mask.
Because this is so new to us, I think a lot of people are wondering, before they get it or maybe even after they get it, what kinds of side effects should we be looking out for? And maybe what have we seen so far from people who've had this vaccination?
Yeah, so the side effects we've heard about are, most of them are injection site pain, a little muscle soreness where you get the shot. There are people that a small percentage of the population, less than 20%, that you're hearing about people that get fever and get chills and have those flu-like symptoms for about 24 hours. But after that 24-hour period, they generally subside. A very, very small portion of the population. And to put it in perspective, we have over 6 million people that have been vaccinated. About a dozen or so have experienced those very severe allergic reactions. That is very rare, and people shouldn't worry about that unless they have a history of having allergic reactions to vaccines. But they can occur, and that's why after people are vaccinated, there's that monitoring period, because typically those type of those severe allergic reactions tend to happen pretty quickly, and they're treated on site with Benadryl or in a bad case scenario, maybe epinephrine or something similar to that.
How about for people who have had COVID? They knew they had it, they were tested positive for it. What do they need to know about getting vaccinated?
Yeah, it's very important, even if you had the virus before, to still get vaccinated, because what we're dealing with is a situation where this is still a relatively new virus, and we're still learning a lot about it in the scientific community. And it's a matter of, if you have the virus, certainly you'll generate some immunity after you get that natural immunity, similar to people that are vaccinated, but we don't know how long that immunity is going to last. So it's definitely a good idea, even if you've had the virus, to get the vaccination to give you that more prolonged response. And importantly, even after you've gotten vaccinated, it's still, like I said, wear that mask, but we're still going to have to see how long that memory response lasts, because it could be a situation where, this, hopefully not, but it could be a situation where this is an annual thing where that memory response doesn't last as long. And, if we don't get this under control, we may be in a situation similar to the flu where we have to have an annual virus. But that's we're still determining the science behind that.
So still more to come. A lot to think about, a lot of great questions answered. Thank you so much, Dr. Dean Fanelli, for being with us this morning.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Wow, just so much to consider, Bill. And it is so important to have these conversations. Great questions from Evan, because they're top of mind for all of us.
I learned something in Evan's story there that I did not know. And that is that when you get the vaccine, you're actually not cured. It's like you can still spread it and all of that stuff. I thought once you got the vaccine, oh, we're done. But no, that's not the case. And really interesting there, obviously we're going to be wearing masks and socially distancing for a while. But like everybody else, boy, just want this to be over, and try to learn as much about it as we can. And thanks to Evan and the doctor there, we learned a little bit more this morning.
We sure did. And we will continue these conversations here in Virginia this morning with other medical experts too, weighing in and talking about some of the local strategy and how that's happening. And, it's just incredible to me. Thousands of medical professionals have been vaccinated. I'm hearing more and more every day from friends who have received them and what that experience is like. And certainly just knowing that that's happening in and around our community is really encouraging. But still, so many questions as we go forward.
Yeah, the governor in his State of the Commonwealth address talked about this last night. And as you know, our governor's a doctor, and so he's kind of tuned into that stuff. And it was pretty interesting to hear what he had to say about it and how, they're kind of changing rules on the fly as they've been doing all along with this and trying to keep us all safe. But you definitely have to pay attention, and thanks to Evan and everybody else for getting the word out to us this morning on Virginia This Morning, because obviously this is top of mind for almost everybody.
It sure is. And you raise a great point too. I think, the elephant in the room is that it feels almost as though some of there really aren't rules yet, but these parameters are evolving as we go, as we know what we're working with. And so that makes it extra challenging for everybody to wrap their mind around, because really you want to, if you're advancing forward, you want to call and make a appointment to get this done, or know where you can and how and all of that. And it's been hard, I think, for everybody to continue to maintain the patience. So more to come, and great conversations like that are very helpful.
Some of us have a really hard time being patient. I don't know whether you noticed it or not. Me, but that's right. We'll try. We'll keep trying.
We'll try.
And you try. Yeah, you try to stick around, because we're going to be right back with more Virginia This Morning.